Hey guys, I'm back. Thanks for tuning in to the Unfolding of Proverbs, Calling of the Wise Versions, Video 2. I thank you if you're tuning in and you got through the first part. I hope that marinated a little bit in your soul, in your mind, in your heart, and that you did not turn off. But if you're here now listening, you didn't. So I am thankful that you got past that part and you listened, and hopefully the words was given that you can go forth and study a little bit more and follow the instructions and be wise and hold dear and continue to walk with Christ, and don't let anybody disturb you and discourage you from the truth and from the pathway with knowledge and all the things that are increasing of falsehood, delusions, and all things that's out there. So this is to keep the sheep on the right paths into our eternal destination, and that I will be a comforter through anything form of media that's been given, that I can use this to uplift the Most High and praise the Most High at the end of this, and that we all should praise the Most High and don't worship the eye, and that we prophesy through it correctly, and we love our neighbors as ourselves, and we speak wisdom, we speak with sound doctrine, and that we get the truth out there in a positive manner and bearing of the fruits of the Spirit. So I thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to jump right in because I don't need to talk too much with my tongue. And I want to go ahead and start on this because I'm on a brief time, and I probably have to pause it and actually start a little bit more tomorrow. So I may not get to finish all of this right now tonight, but I can always pause it and then tomorrow pick off on it. But I'm just going to start a little bit of it this evening at 8:46 p.m. at January 31st. Yeah, on January 31st, 2021 on the Gregorian calendar. All right. Listen, children, to a father's instructions, and pay attention so that you may gain discernment. Because I give you good instructions, do not forsake my teaching. When I was a son to my father, a tender, only child before my mother, he taught me, and he said to me, let your heart lay hold of my words. Keep my commands so that you will live. Acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. Do not forget, and do not turn aside from the words I speak. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will guard you. Wisdom is supreme. So acquire wisdom, and whatever you acquire understanding. Esteem her highly, and she will exalt you. She will honor you if you embrace her. She will place a fair garland on your head. She will bestow a beautiful crown on you. Listen, my children, and accept my words, so that the years of your life will be so many. I will guide you in the way of wisdom, and I will lead you in the upright paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered, and when you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. Protect it, because it is your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, or walk in the way of those who are evil. Avoid it. Do not go on it. Turn away from it and go on. For they cannot sleep unless they cause harm. They are robbed of sleep until they make someone stumble. For they eat bread gained from wickedness, and drink wine obtained from violence. But to the path of the righteousness is like the bright morning light. But the path of the righteousness is like the bright morning light, growing brighter and brighter until full day. The way of the wicked is like gloomy darkness. They do not know what causes them to stumble. My child, my children, pay attention to my words. Listen attentively to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your sight. Guard them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them, and healing to one's entire body. Guard your heart with all vigilance, for it are the sources of life, and from it are the sources of life. Remove perverse speech from your mouth. Keep devious talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look directly in front of you, and let your gaze look straight before you. Make the path of your feet level, so that all your ways may be established. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Turn yourself away from evil. Alright, so that is actually the whole chapter of 4. Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry, my daughter likes to be in my arms so much. So I'm just going to hold her. She was asleep. Put her on the couch. She loves to feel my warmness. Alright, so that was chapter 4 in my ancient translation of Proverbs. And I will read the my 1989 Nelson edition of King James Version, for those who all got a copy of the mistranslated book everywhere that anybody can get. Some of them got NIV, different things. So, you know, it's kind of different small mistranslation things taken out over time, all these different versions of the King James. But I'm just citing my King James that I have is a 1989 edition, Nelson edition, King James Version. But I also downloaded an ancient Proverbs, more decoding translation with format, so I can do my mathematical order of the Most High and construct my things. And He's giving me the tools that I need and the insights to give to the sheep in a simplicity form of understanding wisdom, the human body, and what it means metaphorically and symbolically, and when it means alliteration, you know, so we can come to a understanding. So I'm going to read chapter 4 in the mistranslated book of King James Version. It says, Father says to get wisdom. Hear ye, children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only belike in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words. Keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor. When thou dost, embrace her. She shall give to thy head an ornament of grace, and a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom, I have led thee in the right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straightened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of instruction, let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Alright, so construct knowledge I will put under the video of the symbolization, alliteration, and some construct knowledge under there for you guys. But I can read a little bit of it. Let's see, off of my I can't wait till I be able to do, like, I can get on the computer and talk to you at the same time. I'm kind of still working on the technology, learning the different things with this channel. If any sisters, brothers can give me some kind of feedback through my emails of how I do that to make it easier for me, that would be wonderful. But I'm kind of I love my original style, my old way, because it's so old. I put my phone right here, let people look, and then, you know, me just doing my style, just original, because I'm really not with the animes and perfecting things off of the 3D graphics that they give us off the technology and computer. So in my pictographs, they're very original style, and it's real people who actually done this and, you know, created these things. So it's kind of like my original style. I like to stay with the pictographs, because I don't worship a great image, nor do I create or draw things or anything like that. So My creativity is through my meshes. It's through the language, and it's through the history of time that you would have to just understand me for. I cannot give you me fully. I can only be a guide and an understanding, and things like that. And it will be up to you to gain the knowledge of what I'm putting out and how I'm formulating and doing it. And I think those with the spirit will see pretty clear, and it's only for them. And I allow the blind to stay blinded, because that's what the word says. So I'm not here to give all the answers of completion of medical order, the grammatical order, or every symbolizations that's throughout the whole entire Bible. This is only for, I can only be a guide and an example, and be a comforter to all, just like any other sisters that are doing things and filling up their platforms. But I thank y'all though for supporting. Every time you watch this, or you tell somebody to subscribe to it, or you subscribe, you are helping me, and you are loving me as your neighbor, and you're doing what you're supposed to do. So I expect for y'all to, and let the Father be the judge and be the ultimate grace giver and the judge of all, for he sees all. Earth is his footstool and her footstool. And so some of the construct knowledge I'm going to get on with 4 would be, so, because some of it is for style. So I'm going to go to the verb yara, means to teach, to instruct, to guide. This is the form, the same root as the Hebrew word law, which is Torah. So the verb yara means to teach, to instruct, to guide. This is from the same root as the Hebrew word for law, Torah. So that's something to get. And it says Hebrew, in the tracks of uprightness on straightforward paths. Both the verb and the objective of the preposition make use of the ion. So I just wanted to say that part of it. But I will put more in detail and construct it in a way of the words to give to you underneath the video description. So y'all check that out. I hope y'all are reading and studying the video descriptions as well, because everything is formulated off of knowledge and understanding and wisdom on my channel. So with that being said, I thank y'all for listening, in peace, and letting the words sit in your mind and ponder your thoughts. So I'm going to do my Ecclesiastes part, which if you have Apocrypha of the King James Version, I'm going to be in Ecclesiastes chapter 29. He that is merciful will lend unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hand keepeth the commandments. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need, and pay thou thy neighbor again in due season. And you know what? I want to say I did this one last time because it sounds familiar. So I'm going to go to chapter 30. Because I think I remember me doing chapter... I got a star right there. I possibly did it in the last video of unfolding this. But if I didn't, and I go look at it and I go see and stuff, I know for sure I put chapter 29 throughout the pictographs. So I'm going to just stick to base on going to chapter 30. Sorry about that, guys. So let's backtrack to chapter 30 in Ecclesiastes, the Apocrypha, King James Version. He that loveth his son calls him aught to fill the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he has left one behind him that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels would be troubled at every cry. And horse not broken become headstrong, and a child left to himself would be willful. Crocketh thou child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gash thy teeth in the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient to thee, and you bring sorrow to thy heart. So bring sorrow to thine heart. Chastise thy son, and hold him to labor, lest he slew behavior be an offense unto thee. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution, than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Health and good estate of the body are above all gold, and a strong body above effeminate wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is bitter than a bitter life, or continuing sickness. Delicates pour unto a mouth shut up, or as messes of meat set upon a grave. What good doeth the offering unto an idol? For neither can it eat nor smell. So is he that is persecuted of the Lord. He seeth with his eyes, and groaned as an ENUCH that embraced a virgin and SIGHETH. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of a man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thy own soul, and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow from thee. For sorrow has killed many, and there is no profit therein. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. A cheerful and a good heart would have a care of his meat and diet. Much symbolization and just so much beautiful portion of correction that mother did. I love it. It is great. So y'all read chapter 30, which I put some of that in the description under. But I just read chapter 30 of Ecclesiastic in the Apocrypha. So that is our reading for instructions for this section of Unfolding of Proverbs, Calling of the Wise Versions, which is chapter 4 that I did on ancient translation in the Bible that we all have in Apocrypha. So I hope that was some surety for y'all, and that y'all let that sit on you for a second. I don't have to go deep in that. It's already self-explanatory, and I'm here to speak the words, to be the instructions, to be the guide, and give you a little understanding. So I don't like to talk too much because it's already been written for me. So I really don't. For those who have ears, let them hear. For those who understand. That's all I gotta say. And so now we're going to start this one off at this section. But you know what? It is 9:05. So I'm going to take a break. And I probably have to finish this up tomorrow. But it's going to be like when y'all see it's all one day. So it's okay. But I'm going to go ahead and stop here to take me a small break. And when I come back, we're going to start on the Praise of Shadows channel. And he had a great documentary of the burning times of the history of witches part 1, and I'm gonna like that because I got another sister that did a thorough kind of, they both said the same thing, but I can use a male and a woman, which I would like to use that, explaining the documentaries and all the bloodshed, innocent bloodshed that been shed over the centuries of famous people, infamous people. It doesn't even matter. Just bloodshed, period, of our nations and other unjust for us, the Gentiles too, because they were innocent souls that got trapped inside of some of this, contrary to the doctrines that my brothers them are preaching or teaching or doing. I don't love them no less, but I just, like I said, I'm here as a correction and a rod. If they don't get themselves together, they know where their end is and they know where they shall go. because I'm not a respectable person. So I appreciate that. But yeah, we're gonna get on that part inside of video 2, so which is video 2. So we'll be starting off. When I come back, I'm just gonna let it play and go from there. And I ask that y'all still tune in, because this is some great info, and probably, you know, give you another spark in your mind, or if you already have came upon this knowledge, give you some discernment to not go too far off, and that you can stay within the boundaries, because we know the serpent has good and evil knowledge, but we have to discern all things, and don't want to throw away your crown or reject something of truth, or something that can add to enlighten your soul, and to keep you from the strange woman and the stranger that flatten with their words. For they have made many books as well. They have gifts, and they have done things in the earth. So I'm up here just crying and grieving for justice for all innocent souls in the matters of the centuries and things that have been done to us as mankind, humanity kind, and get this wickedness out, and correct it and call it out and rebuke it. And I thank you guys for watching to this point, and I ask you to stay tuned.